Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you're good. I hope you're having a good start to your week. Today I'm here for a little short book review, hopefully. I'm not sure, I ramble a lot. But today I'm going to be talking and reviewing We Were Liars by Lockhart. This is a young adult mystery thriller book that came out around 2013 or 2014. It's been out for quite a while now, and this book is a book that was really popular and hyped on BookTube when it first came out initially. It was one of those books that a lot of people were loving and pushing on to other people. They were saying, you need to read this, you must read this, but here's the thing, you need to read it blindly. Go into this book without knowing anything because it will give you the best reading experience. So I honestly didn't know anything about this book before reading it. The only thing that I knew was that it was a mystery thriller and it was young adult, and that's about it. Did I like it? Okay, this book follows Cadence. Cadence is in her teens. She, every summer, goes to this private island that her family owns, and she spends the summers with her cousins and this boy that she likes named Gat, and she tells us about, you know, her experience, her adventures with the cousins, the good, the bad, blah, blah, blah. She also tells us that she had an accident a couple years ago, and she had a head injury, but she doesn't really know exactly what happened, and she has memory loss as a result. She's kind of has that amnesia going on. And so it's been a couple years. She convinces her parents to let her finally go back to this island, and when she does, she kind of has to put the pieces together on what actually happened to her, because everyone else around her knows what happened, but they don't want to tell her. Everyone is in on the secret, but she doesn't know. I guess everyone else thinks it's best if she comes to, you know, what happened on her own, if she just accepts it herself and just lets it in for some reason or another. So we follow her as she goes back to this island, and she kind of, you know, meets her cousins and the guy that she likes, and she tries to put the pieces together again, and that's basically the story. It's written in a very, very pretentious style, I guess you could say. I do like the writing style, but I feel like some of the characters, the way Lockhart presented her characters, they came across as very it's mainly the dialogue. I feel like a lot of the dialogue of these characters just didn't feel very realistic to what these teenagers during that time would actually say. I just kind of, at times I even rolled my eyes because it just wasn't very believable for me. But besides that, I feel like the first half of this book was very, I don't necessarily want to say boring, but it's very meh. It's just a meh thing. But besides being meh, it's very readable. You could read through this book so fast because it's only around 200 and something pages. You could read this book in a day if you wanted to. It wasn't until you get to the halfway point that things start getting interesting and things build up, and then you get to the end with a reveal, and that's the book, blah, blah, blah. I will say that I think the biggest reason why I was not a fan of this book is because it has that one trope that, one of the biggest tropes that I'm just not a fan of, and that is amnesia, memory loss in a story. I've never been a fan of when there is memory loss, amnesia, because I just, for some reason, I just don't enjoy it. I feel not necessarily that it's a cop-out or anything, but it's never really worked well for me. I've never been a fan reading it. There was a story that I read a really long time ago. I remember, like, in middle school. I think it was called Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesia, something like that, by Gabrielle Zevin, and I just did not like it. Did not like it. I don't know what it was about it. I think the only book that I like, or not even book, it was a movie that I liked that had to do with amnesia. That was The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. That was the only movie that I liked that had to do with that at all. The only thing that really pulled it off for me. And even that is kind of like borderline with other things going on, and that was amazing. One of the best movies ever. But anything else I've ever read or seen, just, I have not been a fan. It just feels so like you couldn't have thought of something better. And that was the way that the story went. And so, you know, reading this book in the beginning, I had a feeling, I had an inch that that was going to happen with this book, with the plot twist, with what would happen. I don't want to say what happens exactly, but I just had an inch of feeling. And when I was right at the end, I rolled my eyes. I was like, really? That's why they say to go into this book blindly, because of that. And I feel like that's what this book heavily kind of hooks itself on. Without that big plot twist at the end, what is this book really, right? What is this book? When the book solely alone has to rely on that plot twist and nothing else in the book is really redeemable, that's when I feel like the book is really disappointing, because without that plot twist, the book isn't really anything, you know? It doesn't really have great characters that are written well, and it's not memorable in any way, shape, or form, and it just feels like it's pulling from other movies and books to create this. I mean, everything pulls from everything else, but I feel like this one specifically, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just went on a mini rant there, but I just was not a fan with the end of this book and overall story arc. I feel like it's very lackluster. There's probably better books out there, but again, a lot of people really like this, and if you did like that twist and if you do like the characters in the story, I'm really happy that you do like it. It just, unfortunately for me as a reader, I don't enjoy that focus in a book. So that's just, unfortunately for me, a letdown, and that's how I feel about We Were Liars. I don't know if I would, see, I want to give books that involve memory loss another try. I just don't think that I will like that. If you have a book that you really like that involves amnesia, recommend them to me. Maybe I'll give them a go, but honestly, so that's my review for We Were Liars. I wasn't really a fan, if you couldn't tell. I didn't really like it. I thought it was disappointing. I'm glad I don't own a physical copy because I don't want one. But yeah, that's my review, and that's all I really have to say. If you have read this, a lot of people have read this, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you liked it, what are your thoughts? Maybe I just didn't get what was so great about it. Maybe I'm missing something here. But yeah, that's just me. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in a couple days with another book review. I recently read The Guest List, which was a book that I also have very mixed feelings on, and I want to talk about them with you. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.